I'm Dr. Jatin Shah. I'm the director of the Mumbai Fertility Clinic and IVF Center in Bombay. I've been practicing IVF and assisted reproduction for the past more than quarter a century, almost 27 years now. There's a lot of search for decreasing ovarian reserve, diminished egg reserve, and I thought it would be apt to address the subject because it's really a growing problem now. We know that egg reserve keeps reducing with increasing age of the woman, and it needs to be carefully addressed. So it's really amazing how nature has worked with men and women differently. You know, men can produce new sperms every second of their life forever. Women, on the other hand, are born with a fixed number of eggs. For an example, or just to put facts right, on an average, when a woman is born, she has about 2 million eggs. That's about 20 lakh eggs. By the time she gets her first menstrual period, that is her first menstruation or menarche as we call it at the age of 11 or 12, just about 2 to 3 lakhs of these eggs remain. By the age of 30, you would be shocked to know that a woman has lost almost 88% of her egg reserve and just 12% of eggs remain. By the age of 37, she just has about 20 to 30,000, and by the time she begins menopause, she just has about 1,000. Many of you would ask, oh, even 1,000 is enough to have 1,000 babies, but it doesn't work like that. With decreasing quantity, there is also a deterioration in the quality of the oocytes, and which is why we know that as age increases, eggs reduce in number and quality. And as many of you may be aware that after the age of 35, there will be a lower chance of pregnancy, there will be a higher chance of a miscarriage, early pregnancy loss because the egg quality is not too good, and you will have a higher risk of Down syndrome and many other genetic anomalies in the babies. So this is actually the problem, that the pelvic clock just doesn't stop for a woman. And we know that with more and more women opting for higher education, better careers, in the bargain they tend to delay marriage, delay their childbearing. And if you go back to the statistic that by the age of 30 you have lost 88 to 90% of your eggs, we are really on the verge of a dangerous problem here. So basically, as I told you earlier, you would say, oh, there are 3 lakh eggs, 4 lakh eggs, 20 lakh eggs. So basically what we are talking about are follicles in the ovary. These are water-filled balloons. Each one may or may not contain an egg, and the egg may be of a good quality, a medium quality, or a poor quality. And from the time that the menstruation begins, every month it's not just one egg which is lost, but say 10, 15, 20 such follicles or water balloons are recruited by nature. Then just one of them grows and tends to rupture, and that is why you get a single egg released around the 14th or 15th day of the menstrual cycle. But the remaining eggs will then die or degenerate, or medically as we call it, they become atretic. So the follicles undergo atresia and only one oocyte is finally released. The treatments are several. You would read online of a lot of adjuvants being given and so on and so forth. All of them probably don't work. Like a lot of us used DHEA for a good 5 to 8 years, thinking that a little bit of male hormone or androgen would help to improve the oocyte numbers and quality. But recent evidence shows that it really hasn't worked that great. What might work better is maybe testosterone. So a lot of the studies are right now going on. You know, that's the male hormone, but surprisingly it's quite effective for women who have a decreased ovarian reserve, helps to improve quantity and quality of eggs. The second option, of course, the doctor would tell you that we need to stimulate the ovaries. So they would probably give you injections of FSH. They might give you clomiphene citrate letrozole, but I would personally prefer that you directly move on to injections if you have a diminished egg reserve. With that, if the sperm is normal, the tubes are patent, the doctor might say, okay, let's try 2 months with a simple intrauterine insemination or IUI. If, however, you are say 37, 38, you've already done a lot of normal treatments, best thing would be proceed with in vitro fertilization. So IVF, of course, is the most successful treatment finally for patients with diminished ovarian reserve, because we can do a lot of things here. Yeah, so basically for all couples, of course, the primary tests which are done are the sperm analysis for the male, and for the female we do the ovarian reserve testing, ultrasound scan to see that there is no other complicating factor like a blocked tube or a fibroid or anything in the ovaries or a cyst. And then of course we check the tubes with an HSG or laparoscopy if required. The doctor would then advise you, as I told you, a couple of cycles of IUI with aggressive FSH injections to try and improve your egg quality and quantity. If that fails, then we move on to IVF. Of course, at the same time, if you feel you're not ready for IVF, you must have a good lifestyle. It's very important that you regularly exercise, have a good diet, you take the adequate, not every supplement under the sun, but at least enough quantities of coenzyme Q, maybe folic acid, maybe a little bit of L-arginine, some amount of zinc, and so on. So these are important supplements which might improve your eggs and help you in your endeavors to conceive naturally. Of course, you have to avoid smoking, drinking, any other toxins into your body which could also ruin the egg health as well as the sperm health for the male. So to end then, of course, we are all in the midst of this huge pandemic, the COVID pandemic, and maybe counting as a silver lining on the cloud, it gives you a lot of time together, which is the name of this campaign. So spend this time together as a couple, try to rejuvenate things which you might have missed while both of you were absolutely busy in your daily lives, in your careers. Maybe I have heard that a lot of couples who were planning to do IVF have conceived naturally during this period because of the time that they have spent together. So it's important that you get your feelings together, get your comfort level together, make the most of it. Who knows, you just may not need an IVF doctor or any infertility specialist at all. Let's hope and pray that works that way. If it doesn't, you have to, of course, move on and seek treatment. But that's very important for you right now.